This activity is designed to help you learn how to find your current grade and interpret what you are seeing in the gradebook. Please watch the video in its entirety. Then, follow the directions to answer the questions. In this activity, we will learn how to find course gradebooks, expand gradebook folders, and interpret the current quarter and final grades, what they do and do not mean. Understand the different symbols that we might see in the gradebook, and see how each activity is clickable and that you can click on each activity to review submissions and feedback. Your gradebook is going to be one of your most powerful tools since that's how you're going to be scored. Keeping track of your grades is incredibly important, and you have to make sure that you understand what you're seeing in the gradebook so that you know what you do and don't need to do. To find your gradebook, navigate to any of your course pages, and on the left-hand side of the screen, below the course picture, you'll see a link to your grades. Clicking on Grades will allow you to access all of your historical and current grade information for that course. The Grades button is shown here on the left-hand side of the screen, just below the course picture. When you click on the grades, you'll see the Gradebook. The Gradebook is where all of your quarter grades are housed. You can see that the gradebook is broken down by different quarters, basically in folders. So you can see here that we're seeing the first, second, and third quarter folders. Each of those quarters is worth 25%, essentially meaning that no quarter is worth more or less than any other quarter. They're all the same. The current quarter grade is what's shown here in green. So you can see that this student so far in the third quarter has an 81%. Keep in mind that your current quarter grade can go up or down based on the work that you do or don't do. So make sure that you're always keeping a close eye on your current quarter grade and that it looks like what you want it to look like. Within the current quarter, you can expand the folders to find your assignments, which are all clickable. Clicking on anything in the gradebook will take you to that activity itself. Your assignments are shown below here. Notice that beside the title of the assignment, you can also see the suggested due date, when the teacher recommended that you have it completed. To the right of that, in the next column over, the green shows your grade on that activity. And below that is some teacher feedback. Keep in mind that you may find more teacher feedback by clicking on the activity itself. Sometimes you'll have feedback on specific questions rather than an entire assignment all at once. Checking your grades in Schoology is a very simple process. To start, navigate to the course that you would like to look at. I'm going to start by looking at a math course. Along the left-hand side, click on the Grades button to navigate to your gradebook. From here, you can see that the gradebook is broken down into different categories. We'll start by taking a look at the first quarter category. You can see that this demo student has completed some work and currently has a grade of 28% in the first quarter. Let's take a closer look at how this student is doing on the activities posted in this course. Start by taking a look at the grades in this column shown here. We can see that these activities with a 0 in this orange hexagon saying missing tell us that the student did not complete these activities and that the teacher has entered a grade of 0 because they're incomplete. However, you notice that the second activity has a puzzle piece beside it. This means that the student has completed this activity after the teacher entered in the 0. This means that the teacher will need to go in and find this activity and then decide how it should be graded. Something else you may notice is that the student was excused from an activity. We can see the note from the teacher here saying that the student was excused from this assignment due to a tech issue. The excused activity does not calculate towards the student's overall grade and therefore does not count. We can see in this activity that the student has scored a 17 out of 20. In the gradebook, all of these activities are clickable. So if we were to click on this activity, for example, and open it in a new tab, we can go in and view exactly what the activity looks like. We can see when the student completed it, how long they took it, and we can also see that there's some feedback left on this activity. Click the View Assessment button to see the student submission and to see the feedback left for the student. We can see the correct answers to all the questions, but we can see instructor comments listed here. The student only earned 0.5 out of 1 points because, as you can see, the instructor is telling us that we may want to go back and check what our points are adding up to. You can see this question has a grade of 0 out of 1. As we can see, the instructor comments tell us that it looks like we forgot to answer this question. Navigating back to the gradebook, we can see that these activities that have a dash are not counting towards the student's grade right now. However, the puzzle piece again tells us that the student has turned in the activity, but it just simply has not been graded. Again, if we open the activity, we can see that there is no score provided because it's pending review. The teacher still needs to grade it. You can see that a lot can be learned from looking at the gradebook and making sure that you understand what you are seeing here. We can also see that there are upcoming activities in the coming days that are not yet graded because they have not yet been completed by the student. Let's take a moment to make sure we met our desired results. In this activity, we talked about how to find the course gradebooks. We talked about expanding the folders within the gradebook and interpreting what the quarter and final grades do and do not mean. We also talked about how to understand the various symbols that you might see in the gradebook, and also how to see that each activity is clickable and that you can click on the activity to review your submission and the feedback left for you by the teacher.